and welcome. I'm Joyce, and here's what happened this week. A major new offshore wind farm on Taiwan's west coast is now in operation. The 640-megawatt project faced local protests and long delays. As Rick Lowett reports, the country's green energy sector is facing an uphill battle as Taiwan struggles to reach its carbon emission goals.
Just off Taiwan's southwest coast, the country's second-largest offshore wind farm has just come online in Yunlin County, generating clean energy for 600,000 homes. Inaugurated after lengthy delays to much fanfare.
We have made it a goal to reach net zero emission by the year 2050. And offshore wind power generation is plays a very important role. We have encountered many challenges, however, we are able to tackle them one by one.
This 640-megawatt farm of 80 turbines is a rare success story. The seas off Taiwan's west coast have some of the best conditions for wind farms in Asia, with a shallow seabed and strong, steady winds. Over the last decade, dozens of wind farm projects have been planned along this coast, and some have been built. But construction is now flagging. Taiwan's wind farm energy sector is facing serious headwinds, putting Taiwan's green energy goals at risk. Offshore wind farm construction is being hit by a perfect storm of a global downturn in the industry, government restrictions, and local pushback to large green energy projects. In Yunlin, years of protests and litigation by the local fishing community, as well as a fraud suit against protesting fishers by the wind farm manufacturers, delayed construction and sowed discontent.
建设完成的这个时间对当地的居民跟渔民影响最深的地方，就是目前我们在捕捞的时候就会常常遇到我们的一些像网具啊或是船只的受损。
Taiwan's government says more dialogue is needed with local communities to get them on side with green energy. But the clock is ticking. Taiwan is phasing out nuclear energy. The country's last reactor will go offline in 2 months. And green energy, like wind, will need to fill the gap if Taiwan hopes to be carbon neutral by 2050. International wind farm companies say they are keen to build, but that Taiwan government policies can be hard to navigate.
So I think there has to be a thorough look, and maybe together in a collaboration with the MOEA, with the industry, and to find out what are we doing with this, because it's slightly a mess. And we have been looking at and are looking at further opportunities to invest in Taiwan.
The government here is moving away from subsidies and incentives, hoping that wind energy can survive in the free market. Now it's an industry suffering serious growing pains. Taiwan, boasting good winds and a strong manufacturing base, had high hopes of leading the region in offshore wind energy. Many here now hoping it's not too late to turn the current trajectory around. Devon Tai and Rick Lowett in Yunlin County for TaiwanPlus.
4 police dogs in Taiwan have been formally honored and sent into retirement. Central Taiwan's police force put the dogs up for adoption and vetted applicants thoroughly to make sure the dogs would go to great homes to live out the rest of their lives. Leslie Liao has more.
Tiny, Candy, Pinky, and Bobby are 4 good boys and girls who have kept the public safe for years. People may not know it, but these dogs and their nimble noses have done everything from patrolling the streets to sniffing for contraband. After an illustrious career in public service, they're being let go. Not because of poor performance, but because they've reached the ripe old retirement age of 7. The 4 dogs were put up for adoption. But because of their good work, their handlers went out of the way to make sure that they were going to good homes. Close to 100 people applied to take the dogs.
总面积的话是700平，就是一个院子，让他们能够快乐。
At their honors ceremony, the dogs were presented with hordes of new toys, treats, and goodies, all so they can focus on enjoying their retirement instead of taking a bite out of crime. Eason Pan and Leslie Liao for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwan Sign Language users may soon get a new tool to help them communicate with those who couldn't otherwise understand them. It's a computer program that analyzes signers' motions and turns them into Chinese text. The program is the work of the National University of Kaohsiung, but the project still has some challenges to overcome before it'll be ready for a public launch.
比很快之后，那其实一句跟一句之间怎么样去中断这个困难点，我们目前还没有解决。那另外一个人讲话之后，他能不能转成手语，让另外一个只会手语的人去理解？那这个方向也是在第二个阶段，我们希望可以完成的部分。
The program is meant to help the 20 to 30,000 people who use Taiwan Sign Language in an environment where there aren't enough interpreters to meet demand. Walk around any part of Taiwan and you'll be surrounded by a diversity of different building styles. A new documentary series is encouraging people to pay closer attention to the country's architecture and what made it that way. Millie Hughes reports.
The Taiwanese identity is complex, with many powerful influences running throughout its history. Several of Taiwan's leading architects have created a documentary series to tease apart the different aspects through what they know best: architecture.
而黑潮这部电影正是企图从历史变迁中寻找台湾建筑的身份认同的可能性因为建筑是空间、时间跟人间的对话，建筑是有生命的，是生活的容器，也是文化的具体呈现。
The title Deep Current is inspired by the Japanese term kuroshio, or black tide. This tide refers to a powerful North Pacific current. The architects behind this series believe this is the perfect metaphor to describe Taiwan's long history of multiculturalism. Taiwan has seen settlers from Portugal, Spain, and the Dutch East India Company in the 16th century, followed by rulers under China and Japan. And throughout this entire period, Christian missionaries. They all used the deep current to come and go, each leaving their legacy in the form of physical spaces. The 8-part series invites viewers on a journey across time, beginning in 19th century Taiwan under Japanese occupation and ending in the modern day, unpacking a wide range of buildings from neo-colonial Japanese palaces to postmodern abstract churches. The location of the premiere pays reference to Taiwan's diverse historic and architectural influences, even taking place here today at Taipei's Huashan 1914 Creative Park, previously used as a sake brewery and winery. But the main principle behind this series goes far beyond architecture.
或许从黑潮的隐喻，去理解台湾的深层流变的动态文化创意核心。 我们的建筑可以摆脱意识形态的困扰，形式主义的追潮心态，回到自己的自然的环境，能够更加开放的去思考我是谁。
Through these present and left behind physical spaces, Deep Current highlights the beauty and diversity that shape Taiwan's complex architectural landscape and its multifaceted history. But most importantly, they hope that the underlying takeaway hidden deep within the current is what will resonate the most with viewers from both Taiwan and around the globe, the celebration of an ever-changing identity in a multicultural world. Howard Chang and Millie Hughes for TaiwanPlus.
Episode 1 of Deep Current, Architecture of Taiwan, is now available to stream online at the TaiwanPlus Docs YouTube channel and on the TaiwanPlus website. It's been almost 2 months since deadly wildfires ripped through thousands of homes in California. Communities there are still working to recover and rebuild their lives. To help them, the state is turning to technology with a digital tool inspired by Taiwan. In Southern California, recovery efforts still ongoing from January wildfires that killed at least 29 people, destroying over 16,000 buildings and homes. California Governor Gavin Newsom now using new technology to help the Golden State rebuild.
So the whole idea of this platform is to create additional opportunities for you to directly engage.
The platform Engaged California has been years in the making and aims to be a digital space where residents can get involved, share their needs, and help inform policy decisions. the tool's relevance and potential for impact highlighted by the wildfires.
What is really important, prioritized for these government entity, to be responsive to our residents' needs in an era where there's just lots of information, lots of confusion, and lots of, stress. It's in a moment like that is the reason why this program was launched, to help.
Instead of an email, letter, or a phone call to officials that might not lead to action, residents can head to the website, a place for similar suggestions to gain strength in numbers and for different opinions to be discussed both online and in person to find a solution. It's a concept inspired by a similar tool from Taiwan. Here in Taiwan, citizen-led discussions on a digital platform like Engaged California has led to decisive government action in at least 20 cases. For instance, Taiwan's model has helped find consensus over controversial issues like how to regulate ride-sharing app Uber and how to tackle scam advertisements. The pioneer behind digital democracy here is Audrey Tseng, the programmer turned Taiwan's first digital minister, now a cyber ambassador who helped set up California's program.
Letters to the president every day.
In an exclusive interview with TaiwanPlus, Tseng says from Taiwan's experience, an online deliberation tool not only made policies more effective, but also made people more willing to engage.
When people in Taiwan, despite their political party differences, can nevertheless agree on things related to Uber, to the liability of online platform when it comes to fraudulent advertisements and many other things, it increases the connective tissue of the civil society. So that with the civic muscles, people do feel that it's not just about partisan politics, but also about the co-creation of policies.
In an era of information overload and countless online forums, trust between users and the platform's makers is invaluable. Given California's population is almost double that of Taiwan, that ups the challenge. But Tseng is hopeful.
We're now seeing a shift from the vertical institutional trust to this horizontal, this crowd-based trust. Of course, this transition is never easy. We're slightly out of our comfort zone here, but I do think that this new form of trust will be more scalable and more resilient. From a Taiwan experience, it also made us anti-fragile against the polarization attacks.
Though optimistic about tech-driven solutions, Tseng says it's also important to have some level of skepticism, a sentiment California's program makers also had, to ensure the tech works in favor of people and their true opinions.
Technology is absolutely critical to the platform, but we want to be very flexible. We want to not limit ourselves by any one particular choice in the technology. The other thing that's really critical about building the trust is that we show we're listening and that we take action.
In the face of catastrophe, it takes a village to bounce back. For California, they say they've built a town hall for the modern era, using tech to help find the solutions people want. Luffy Li, Patrick Chen, and Joyce Tseng for TaiwanPlus. Thank you for watching. Here's what happened. Don't forget to visit the TaiwanPlus website and follow us on social media. Finally, we leave you with images of Picasso works on display in Rome, Italy. I'm Joyce Tseng. Take care and see you next time.
Taiwan, the wait is over. Baseball returns as the CPBL kicks off its new season. The UBA and HBL basketball tournaments are heading to their epic final showdown, where the best teams fight for ultimate victory. And the excitement doesn't stop there. Tour de Taiwan is here, with the world's top cyclists pushing their limits through Taiwan's breathtaking landscapes. Game on Taiwan. The action starts here.